Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Let me bring you up on my screen here. Let's hope Facebook is cooperating. Excellent. Love it when it cooperates. Alright. Okay. Today we're going to have fun with the Sizzix Stamp and Spin and this fun stamp set from Catherine Pooler. And this is one of the cards that I kind of made the other day. It's very, very simple. And basically we're just going to talk about making wreath cards with the Spin and Stamp. So it's really fun. This just happens to be the colors that I used. So untraditional, pink champagne, lilac, and verbena. But I think we're going to go back to traditional. But let's see where we go. Okay, so we're going to put these aside and show you the stamp set. And this is a nice big one. I mean, like, it's huge, right? You get 3 base sizes of holly, and then each one of them has like a decorative piece to it. There's either 1 or 2 of them. So the little one has this one. Then the medium one has this kind of polka dotty one and this kind of star one. And then the large holly has kind of a sweater pattern. And then this is kind of a cross-hatched. And then of course there is some mistletoe, and it has gaps in the stamp for this little berry here. And then there's some more holly berries here. There's a cute little ribbon. And then there's 3 sentiments. Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas and meet me under the mistletoe. So lots to choose from, but we're going to kind of focus on these and the ones that match. So let's bring in the Sizzix tool here. So this is called, sure I got it on camera here. This is called the Sizzix Stamp and Spin. So this originally comes with this, okay, as its platform, and it works just like any old stamping positioner. Okay, so this is the original tool. This is the lid. It also comes with, if I can reach it, with this is a stencil positioner. It has 2 little holes, and there's 2 little nubbies here on the system. And then you attach your Sizzix branded tool or Sizzix branded stencils to these little nubbies. It just makes for easier positioning every time you put your stencil down. Okay, I have used this in the past. Check out the previous YouTube videos, because I transfer all of the videos from our Facebook page to our YouTube. So check this out. So this is an additional piece that you would purchase for your system. Makes for a great system, especially if you're a first-time stamper. I would definitely recommend this. Even just the initial machine too is, I think it's actually quite great on the value. Okay, so what this does is this has a platform under here, which is circular. You can kind of see it. See how it comes out here. It has etched lines, okay, and this moves in a circular fashion. So there's like a pivot point here, and it just rotates. And it's actually built so that it will click into place. So it clicks, I think it'll be every 30 degrees. It's not every 45. It's something less than that. Anyway, so it moves in segments. So you're always going to get an even spacing of your stamp. And you can do multiple stamps at once. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some card fronts. So because this rotates from this point, this line on my backer paper, which is a sticky paper, it's not 100% lined up with the center point. I know that. You can see maybe a little bit. There's kind of like a dash line out here, and it sits a little bit underneath that line. So it's not 100% right in the center, but I'm okay with that. So we're going to start by stamping a centralized design. So we're going to center this up, and I just have to, there is a faster way to figure this out, but we're just winging it tonight. That's not quite it. It's up one more, I think. So this is a sticky backed paper. So my cardstock is going to stay in place. It's not going to move, which is great. And it's sticky for a long time. You can use it for multiple uses. So A for that. Okay. So we're going to go back to the stamp set. I think we're going to start with the medium one. So we're going to place it. And of course, you can look from this direction. There's also etched lines on this circle. So if you know, you put it on the etched line. So there's solid lines and then there's dotted lines too. So whichever line you choose to put it on, it doesn't really matter, because it's the click is going to keep it always hitting up the same degree of turn. So that to me looks good. I've just lined it up on one of those etched lines, so I know it's definitely heading out like the right direction, and it's gonna look the same all the time. Okay. We're gonna start with some succulent, and we're gonna kiss it with some eucalyptus. I don't know if I can get my inks in the screen here, but we're gonna try. Okay, so here's our stamps already on the positioner. Hi, Joanne. I'm gonna start with a full-fledged thing of succulent, okay? So I'm gonna go ink up the stamp with succulent, and we're gonna go for a single press. Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush. Hang on one second. I got to find a dark green brush. 1 second. Okay. Dark green. And I'm going to go back to my eucalyptus, which is darker than succulent. And I'm going to take and load my brush with ink. And then I'm just going to kiss that stamp a little bit. And that's just going to darken the spot on that stamp with just eucalyptus. Hello, Beth. I'm so happy to see you here. Okay, I'm going to go a little darker. My eucalyptus might need some re-inking here. We'll see. We might have to go directly to... Oh, it's a little bit there. Like, not a lot. Okay. Now, I am going to wipe off my stamp, and of course I didn't wet this down. Hang on. I gotta wet my chamois and do it off screen, because otherwise I'll have water everywhere. I'm just using my spritzer. Usually I pre-moisten it, but apparently today I forgot. 1 second. Gotta be wet enough to bend. It's a little crispy when it's dry. Okay. Alright. The only reason I'm actually wiping my stamp off in between each time is because we're using two-tone ink. Okay, so now this is where the magic of this tool comes. So I'm going to make it click. Okay, so wherever it stops, because it has like a predetermined stopping point, then I know it's going to be even all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to start with our succulent to make sure I put the right ink in here. Okay, succulent first. Good press. This platform also makes pretty good contact too. We're going to try eucalyptus towards the center. I just don't think my eucalyptus is very juicy, so it's not applying a lot of inky to my holly shape. Okay. We're gonna wipe it down. Okay, and so this tool is the beauty of getting that wreath design without having to reposition this stamp again. So I like it a lot. Okay, again, we're going in with succulent ink. We're gonna do a press, and of course, it doesn't matter if you get ink on the surface of that dial, because it's not going to transfer. It's not even anywhere close to the surface of your paper. So it's just like the Misty. we're doing a kiss of eucalyptus in the center. All right, so as you can see, they are touching, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to click it before we clean it. So click, and like I said, the tool clicks it every, oh, I wish I knew the degrees. I think it's 4 times in 180. So it'd be 180 divided by 4. Okay, so yes. Okay, succulent. Because my brain ain't braining today. So, alright, there we go. I'll do a little kiss of our eucalyptus. And by using a brush to apply it and not going like stamp pad, you're not going to leave like a, well, at least with these, you're not going to leave an arc of ink. It's going to be a little bit more subtle, and that's why I'm using the brush versus going in with the ink pad. I mean, you can, and then you can use the brush to soften the edge. You can absolutely do that too. Okay, so wiped. Let me do another click. Like I said, the tool moves into that spot. So you don't have to think, you don't have to line anything up. I mean, you don't have to do it every click either. You could do it every other click. It doesn't have to be specifically done that way. That's why you get to experiment, right? And we'll probably get a chance to do that. Okay, a little kissy. Squeaky. Okay. And you just want to make sure that you can always double check, right? Oh, I went the right direction. Excellent. Because, I mean, you can always go back a click, right? If you've gone the wrong direction, you just head back the other direction. And the platform does come with its own sticky grid, like this sticky grid paper. I think there's 5 sheets underneath the whole thing. And like I said, they last for a long time, but you can get extras, right? Like you can purchase extras. But they stay sticky a long time. Because I've had this one for a while and it's still tacky pretty much everywhere where I've put paper before. Okay, just double checking that we click the right way. There we go. And go back to our succulent. You could make some really cool wreath style cards. Make sure we get down in there. Okay, and then our kiss of our eucalyptus towards the center. I mean, it doesn't have to be wreath related either. You could do mandala style stuff if you've ever seen that. So you could use anything to make a mandala style image. Absolutely. Okay. Got one more click in the 360 degrees. How have you guys been? I guess it's Turkey Week for US friends. Hello, Teresa. The tool, yeah, it's definitely a cool tool. I'm just kissing our last bit of holly leaf with our eucalyptus. There we go. And as this dries, the ink spreads out and smooths out. All right, now we're going to do something kind of different for our, because we're going to go in again, okay? So I'm just going to wipe off our platform and my stamp, and we're going to peel the stamp off. Okay. All right, okay, so there's our large one. I'm going to put it away first. I think what we'll do is we will put on our, remember how I was saying each of them has a pattern to put on, at least one pattern, if not 2. So this one is like a star. There we go. Hopefully I'm on camera here. So this star goes over top of this shape, and usually they're pretty good. So if you just line it up, there is a right and a wrong way with them. Like the holly seems to have a wider end and a not as wide end. So you just have to find the sweet spot. I think we found it. Okay. So I'm just going to pick it up. So I've lined it up with the image and I'm just going to pick it up. So it doesn't really matter where it goes on the platform. I know it's going to hit where it needs to hit by placing it on one. Okay. So we're going to pick this up. Now, I am going to grab a darker green. Hang on one second. I think we'll go with a spruce. So spruce is going to be like a tone-on-tone look, but it's definitely going to show the pattern, right? Okay. So with this, we are going to skip. So I'm going to do every other one. So I've inked up my patterned piece. Now I don't need to clean this off because we're not going to change colors or add colors, but we are going to skip. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. So I skipped 1. Okay. So we're going to ink up. And press. Really good contact with this too. Okay. So we're going to click it once and twice. So again, it's going to skip this one and we're going to this one. So that's the beauty of this, is that, hang on, I don't think I went the right way. And this is where you can double check. Yes, that's the one I want. So again, the beauty of this is I've only positioned my initial full holly stamp once, and I've only positioned this once. That's it. And it's hit every one of them perfectly. So it's fantastic. Now for this particular size of holly, there is another, another stamp, but I think we'll use that another time. But what I want to do is I'm going to bring in the baby holly. So here's the baby holly. And so don't forget, you can overlap things, right? So we could also go in between. I'm kind of thinking in between. So if I find a happy place, and this one is a little wonky too. So it has a very pointy end and then a not so pointy end. So you can choose to put it however you want. But if I find a happy place for it, I'm going to go, let's say there. And then I just pick up my circle. We're going to go something a little different here. Let's try seafoam. So this is more your blue green. Okay, that's a little different. I'm going to go a second pop. I'm going to ink it twice. It's different. Okay. All right. So again, because everything rotates in the same degrees, you can just click it and go. I got meow meow hair on here. And I know I'm going to want twice, so I'm just repeating what I did on the first one. So we're inking it twice. And then again, because I'm not changing colors, I'm not wiping my stamp off because we're just going full born with that. And of course, you can put your stamp in any orientation on here that you want, right? If you wanted to put them cockeyed, put them cockeyed. You know, it's sometimes you want to fill the space. Sometimes you want to make a different design. And of course, you don't have to use the same color all the way around. You could have picked every other one to say, like, be dark green and then do the other 4 light green. That's where the beauty of this is. And if you say chose to do that, if you put your stamp on, you can do those 4 equally spaced ones first. And then when you want to change your color, just go in and wipe it after your 4 are done. And away you go. And you do your other 4 in another color. So that's the beauty of, you don't have to move the stamp. You can just click it one more time. It's just like we did the design on the larger ones. You just click it one more time. So again, the beauty of this system is fabulous. And then I think what we'll do is we will do a card where it's off-centered. So right now it's pretty centered. It's not totally centered, but it is pretty darn centered to my piece of paper. But you can make an off-centered version. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's lots of really nice designs where you can do corners. You could do 2 corners of a panel. You could do like here. I think that's what we'll try to do. It's all about placement of this piece of paper versus where the central point is. So, okay, you guys tell me before I move anything. Do you want me to go in with our little, I call it maybe a zigzag? It's not a houndstooth. So, zigzag or no zigzag for our little baby one. And I think what we'll do is we'll go sea glass, which is like the next darker in the spa family. So you guys tell me, what are we doing? Are we going for a little bit of that, or am I going to do something else? Am I going to do maybe a little sea glass tip? So that's why I'm not going to move it until either sea glass tip or sea glass pattern. So I don't know if you guys are still there. Want to tell me? Hi, Louise. Okay, I'll put this off to the side here because we're done with our spruce. So we can do sea glass tipped holly for our baby hollies, or I can put a pattern on with our sea glass over our little minis. Because I can do either. I just want to know what you want to see. No? Okay. All right. We shall leave it. Now, the beauty of this is now, isn't that kind of a funky shape on the inside? Is perfect for putting on a sentiment. And then I've just tapped something. I don't know if my white eraser is going to come to the rescue. Maybe not this time. All right. So we'll call this one done, and let's start something new. And she's sticky. Like I said, she's sticky. And again, we can die cut this smaller, put a frame around it. Let's do another one though before we do that. Okay, so saying this is the center rotational point. Now we want to have a piece that kind of goes off the center. So let's, and we can do any, we can push it here. We can push it here. So I'm just going to pick at random. I'm going to say, we'll call it there. Okay. So let's go to our large one. Hang on one second. Let's pull out our large baby. Okay, we'll start with him first. And again, we can put it anywhere we want. So we can just pick a random line, or we can literally flop it down. But I'm going to pick a line. Okay, so I'm going to pick this line right here to kind of, I'm going to put it a little bit kilty-tilty. I'm not going to put it straight from point to point down the line. So it's kind of like off center, let's say. Okay, so do you guys want to try a different color scheme? We can try something different. What colors would you like to see? Like, pick 2 colors. And we can play with color. So I originally did a purple and kind of a dusty purple, dusty pink on this one. But what colors would you like to see? We could do blues, we could do yellows, we could do reds, oranges, anything like that. I like the shape on the inside. I know, isn't that cool? And look at these. Here, let me show you the difference. So it's all based on positioning. See how long the petals on this one are versus this? It just has to do with the shape of your stamp. Love the purple. Pink? Okay, so we'll find a pink. Alright, let me see. Maybe we'll go on the brighter side of pink. How do we do that? Okay, so let's pick Sweetheart and Be Mine, because they're kind of pretty. Alright, I got stuff in the way here. I'm going to try and pull it off a little bit. Okay, so let's start with Sweetheart. It's kind of like a light purpley pink. It's very well named, Sweetheart. It's so cute. Okay. And I think we're good with a single application. This ink pad is pretty juicy, so. Alright. This is one of the newer colors, too. Okay. Nice. Pressing down. We're going to dial the next one. Woo! Oh, and the pad went. Oh, look what I just did. Hang on. I just laid her right on the top. Oops. Okay. So see how the center is not on the center of the cardstock because we've changed. Oh, I have to re-ink that. Hang on. I got a little dippy-dee-doo. So the central is off the center of the piece of cardstock. So we're getting a different look to it. Okay, we need... Okay. It's like Butterfingers today. Okay. Here we go. And again, if you wanted to add in a secondary, I'm going to add another double because this one is a little bit darker. The beauty of the tool is I can go back and add ink to that if I want to, right? To make it a double ink layer. Okay, I rotated it again. Our last little holly leaf, and again I'm going to double ink this and stamp it. So let's go back. See the beauty of the tool. So I can just spin it back into that position. I can double check. Yep, that's the right one. We're going to double stamp those last two. And that way they're same intensity of ink as the other three. Okay. A little pat. Okay. And I'm not sure if there's another. I'm just going to double check. Oh, there is. There's going to be another one that falls in that upper corner there. So just a itty bitty pink peak. And double stamp. There we go. And I'm pretty sure there's nothing over here. So we're just going to call that done. Now, let's clean this off. And of course, with it being plastic, it's really easy to clean off, right? If you have like a red ink or pink ink or something dark, you can spray this with a stamp cleaner to clean off that rotational piece from underneath, under here. It works just like your misty lid. Okay. All right. Now, the large one, this one is really pretty. Okay, this is my favorite. This is kind of patterned after like a Christmas sweater. And again, there are different points. See how this one is much pointier and this one is kind of rounded. So there is specific ends to put this. And I'm going to line it up with one of the big fellers first. I'm just doing this by eye. Hopefully my head is not too much in the way. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so we're going to do Be Mine, so a tone on tone look. And then we can add some purple. Yeah, it wasn't on the, I know I have dipped my ink pads on my clothing. These ones are good at coming out of cloth. Okay, do we do every other, or do we do every holly? So every other or everyone? You guys tell me. Are we putting pattern on all of them? Or are we just putting pattern? We could even do let's do a faded pattern, but you guys tell me. Are we doing every other or just on everyone? Because I will grab a brush, which I don't think that one is. Be my pinker. See if I can find it. There, that might be better. Everyone? Okay, excellent. All right, so again, we're going tone on tone again. This is Be Mine, so this is a much brighter ink. And we're going to do kind of a fade. What did I just do? Oh, I moved my light. Hang on. There we go. Sorry. I just realized because I was looking at my screen. There we go. It's the top of my light over the camera. Okay, so this time we got a tuna hair. Oh no, not a tuna hair. Hang on. Okay, so this time we're going to do like a fade. So I'm going to concentrate a lot of ink towards the center. And then I'm going to kind of fade it out towards the tip. And let's see. And we might go subtle. Like, let's just see what we get here. So I've concentrated my ink kind of here, but I've faded it out towards the end of the stamp. So let's see what we kind of get here. Ooh, can you guys see that? It's just like a kiss of pattern. I kind of like that. It's like just a hint of sweater. Okay, so I'm going to go back and do these two first. And then, because these ones are just small parts of the holly, we don't really have to worry about the fade because they really don't have a lot of territory that we have to do that for. Okay, and I will bring this up to the camera for you guys too if you can't quite see it. I find dog hairs on my projects. Yep, here you go. It kind of counts as the territory, doesn't? Okay, just making sure I got the right one. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm concentrating the ink towards the center, and then I'm using the brush to apply a lighter version towards the opposite end. So it's very light down here, and I did a lot more application of ink towards the center point. So it's just the kiss. The kiss and blend. And you could do this with any stamp, especially the more territory it has for a surface. So if you're looking at those holly leaves, you could make them rainbow if you really wanted to. It would take a lot of work, but you could do it. So again, concentrate towards that central and a little lighter. Oh, I forgot to rotate it, so good thing I checked. All right, there, that's the correct one. Oh, that is so cool. It looks like it's been sweater kissed, but it's like subtle out towards the ends. It's very pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. You know what? I kind of want to keep that one just as it is, just because it's so pretty the way it is. Let's just keep that just pink. And I mean, this is where your big old bossy sentiments come in, right? You put a nice metallic sentiment and you call that sucker done. I like it. And of course, who doesn't like a pink winter or pink holiday card? Okay, I like that one a lot. We can add some silver or something to it too. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, like that one. That one turned out awesome. Okay, now let's pull in another piece of paper. And let's see, can we make it, just want to see, if I put them in the corners, can we do corners? I think I might have to migrate it down just a little bit here. All right. So by pulling it down to a quadrant, you can kind of see it's down in a quadrant of the circle. It's only going to do one corner. So let's do that this time. Okay. Purple. We want to do purple, right? Okay. So let's put in some purple. Let's go sugar plum, pixie dust. I think sugar plum is the very newest, excuse me, purple that we have. Now, how can we play with this? Okay, let's go to our baby. Maybe let's do two things at once. Let's do our medium and our baby at once. And let's see, what can we do? Because again, they don't have to be pointed right towards the center. It can be any old way. Like you could put them on like that. Now, knowing that, you have to realize that when it clicks to the next one, this one might end up over top this one, right? So you might decide, you have to kind of look at it as, what can I put in this area here? So we could even do this. You could do a little baby kind of cockeyed, and then this one can be cockeyed in here. Now, for the most part, they shouldn't overlap because these are kind of like the click versions, if that makes any sense. So there's an etched like pie piece. It's hard to see. I'm pretty sure you can see this etched one, but this one is definitely harder to see on camera. But if you put them between those, that means it's between the clicks, so that when you rotate, there won't be overlap. So you can play with your stamps like that. You can also throw in a piece of scrap paper too, and just see, okay, are these things going to overlap? Just throw in like a piece of copy paper, right? And experiment. So let's try doing something like that. And of course you can double check. So you can open up your flap, and I'm just going to kind of put them in sort of where we had them there, and then you can close it while your stamps are not inked. And let's just check position. So they're going to be fairly tight to one another, but I think they're going to look okay. Yes, the center is always interesting to see what shape, especially if you have overlap. It's going to be an 8-sided something. It just depends on what kind of information you have given it. Okay, so the other thing too is, let's keep an eye. I'm going to open this back up again. So when I put this in, I put this 1 full 1/4 inch this way and 1/4 inch this way, so that if I want to rotate this piece and get the other corner, I'm going to know to do that so that they look even. Okay? All right, so I'm going to click it back once, and we're going to start there. So let's start with a sugar plum base for everything. I almost want to do this. Okay. Good press. I'm going to do a second layer, I think, on these. Okay, and then the beauty again, it's 1 click. You could do a partial click, absolutely. But the whole beauty of this is that positioning. Okay, this is going to be very interesting. Okay, we're double stamping. Okay, we're going to click for our third. This is only going to be probably a little bit of holly. Yeah, it's just like a kiss of that top one. Okay. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and we're going to put it in the same position with the opposite corner. We're going to see if this works. I'm going to try and put it in exactly the same spot as it was before, because the top was just below that 1/4 inch line. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Click in. Now, when we go to do alternative things, we may have to adjust it a little bit as a dry, clean object. And I'll show you what I mean in 1 second here. Okay. All right. One more rotation. Kissing with our sugar plum. A little bit more sugar plum. Okay. This is going to be the hard part. Okay, I'm going to clean this off. Okay. So this is either going to go really wrong or we'll find out. Okay. I'm going to take off the medium-sized one. I want to pull the little one back off. And I'm going to try, I've dried it off. Okay, it is clean, it is dry. Do I wanna, I kind of want to put it here and just see what we get. This is an experiment. Okay, this time, do I do, you know what, I am going to do a base of sugar plum, I think. So we're going to do the same, and we're going to do a double again. Okay, we're clicking, and this one probably will only get me 2 clicks, because there's nothing over here. There's no paper over there. Okay. Okay, so it's kind of in between. Now, I'm going to, this is where the chaos begins, everybody. Okay, so I've cleaned it off, and we're going to rotate this again. Okay, and we'll see if this will even work. Again, I'm going to try and put it in where it was before. The stamp right here is kind of telling me where to put it, if that makes any sense, because I'm lining it back up. So it is dry, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So use the guidelines on your paper, because they're gonna help. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, hang on. I need to rotate. So it's a very abstract group of holly here. Okay. Okay, let's remove this little puppy. Do a little wipe. And we'll do a peel. Now, this one only has one singular patterned piece. So this one is the striped one. So again, this is where you have to figure out there is a right direction and a wrong direction. One has pointier holly end and the other one isn't as long. So sometimes you got to get your head in there, so excuse my grays. I just gotta double check to make sure. Okay, all right, this is where we're gonna come in with our tone on tone here. I'm gonna bring in the pixie dust. So this is a random one. We'll see. Okay, I'm liking. It really is close to a tone on tone. even more so with the double stamping of the sugar plum, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so this one, clickety click, Barba Papa trick. Anybody remember that from their childhood? Or am I the only one? Okay. Okay, this is where we might have to, you know what? So this thing doesn't fall. We may have to position this again. So we're going to go and find the sweet spot first. There we go. I'm just trying to line it up with the previous stamp, if that makes any sense. I think that's pretty good. Right there. So this is dry and clean. I'm just gonna double check by looking. Oh, it's pretty good. So if and when you have to make sure it's clean and dry, you might have to reposition. Because we've had to reposition this piece of paper, and I mean, you can try. We've done a pretty good job at getting that right back where it was. But sometimes you'll have to adjust because you've adjusted this piece. Okay? So going in with our pixie dust. And then we got to rotate. And a little bit more pixie dust. So pretty. There we go. It's so cute. I wish Catherine had built in another one for the baby, because, you know, I think that's probably the one that most people will use. I think we need to put in something else, but I'm just trying to figure out what we should do. We could do overlapping. We could put more subtle. We could go like super duper light and fill in these crevices. We could do overlaps. We could do central. We could take this and make it as a central design. They're not the same identical shape, but you could do that. Just trying to think what I want to do. So what we could do, you know what? Okay, I think we're going to be random on the rest, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Okay, on this stamp set, there's an itty bitty teeny tiny berry, and it's meant to go into the mistletoe image because it has voids in those leaves. Let's move this out of the way. And I've got the little dot in my hand here. For this one, I'm going to grab, hang on. I got avalanche going here. I don't know, I'm itty bitty. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my itty bitty block, and I really want to put gold. Let's see if this will work. Sometimes this doesn't work because it's not sticky enough. Let's do some gold embossing berries. So we got the itty bitty teeny tiny berry on my little itty bitty block. We're going to bring out the Versamark. No, mine isn't Versamark Dazzle. Hasn't dazzled in years. Let's pull in a piece of paper. Let's pull in embossing powder or embossing release powder, and then we're just going to use a detailed gold. So let's take this anti-static tool, and we'll just work on this end first. So just put some anti-static powder on there. This is a cute tool, very easy to use. Okay, hopefully this is sticky enough for me to kind of randomly pick spots, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to go in between. I'm not like anything that's white space. And of course, it's not going to match the other side, right? Because it's just not. So let's do some berries, and hopefully I got enough Versamark on that stamp. Okay, one thing I am going to do, so if you want to make it not sticky, do the same thing to whatever you're funneling with. So put some release powder on your paper. And I know we're at this end, so we're just going to sprinkle, sprinkle. Please tell me. Oh, we got it sticky enough. Okay, let's funnel this back into the jar. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Okay, let's see if I can get more down, and then we'll like heat it all at once. Like I said, I'm not looking for the same thing. I'm just hoping I don't go over the same spot. I need a few on the outside. I'm just trying to hold it down just a little bit, and I'll do one like hanging off the edge here. Please tell me it's sticky enough. You know what? We forgot to dust it. Oh well, it is what it is. Oh, there are a few strays. Okay, so if you have a few strays, hang on. Let's just hit this up. Sometimes it needs a little bit of time to sit in place to pick up a little bit more particles. Okay, let's get rid of this before I scattered over my entire desk. Okay, always put the lid on. Okay. There are a few particles that are outside of the dots, but that's okay. Only a few. So you can use your nail. A nice fine paintbrush will get rid of your strays too. Okay, let's try heat embossing. Sorry, it's going to be on for a few seconds here. Make sure it's nice and warm. The warmer it is, the faster your powders melt, the less your paper is warped. They really don't look like berries. That's okay. They just look like circles with dots missing out of them. That's alright. Handmade, not Hallmark, right? Woohoo! Okay, I'm liking it so far, and I have an idea. We're almost done. At least making panels, and then you can take panels and finish them off. But if you have panels done, then you can make it easy peasy. Okay, I need a little bit more space. So let's push all of this stuff off to the side. I'm going to bring in my splat box, and we're going to add some more gold to this and silver to the pink one maybe. Okay. 1 second, I gotta grab my paints. These are Altenew metallic watercolors. And that's what we're gonna use. Okay, I'm coming in with my splat box. And I won't be able to see your comments for a second because I've covered up my screen right here. Okay, double check that we're somewhat in the center. Okay, so there's all kinds of metallic colors. I think this gold matches the best. Do that, or there's kind of a bronze one, but I think I'll go with that one. So, how can we do this so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here? Alright, so We're going to use probably this one with the other card. So I'm going to put some water in it as well. So just spray bottle. I'm going to grab a paintbrush. I want a fairly small paintbrush because it's going to give me smaller splatter. Make sure your metallic paints, you mix them quite well, because you want to pull as much of those pigments into the water as possible. So even if you mix them with like another brush and then use a small brush to apply, that always works too. Okay, so I'm just going for some splatter, and I'm okay with it going over the actual holly leaves. And of course you can load up a little bit more. You can put it wherever you want. Kind of concentrating in those areas where the stamping is. Got a lot bigger splatters towards the top there than we did on the bottom area, but that's okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to set this aside. I'm not going to bother cleaning it because I'll just find another brush. Okay, we're going to set that aside for the second. And let's do the green one first. I think I'll do gold on the green too, because I think that would look alright. Okay, I'm going to put a teeny bit more. Actually, let's use, there's a more metallic gold. Not sure if I'm on screen or not. Metallic gold. Let's do that for the green one. And of course, I'm just going to go in. This one appears to have a little bit bigger pigments in it, which I think makes it more reflective. Okay, just kind of scuffing that dry paint underneath. Okay. I'm aiming to add paint to my boo-boo. Of course, I totally missed the boo-boo. Isn't that always the case? Oh, I like the gold with the green. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Could now put a nice gold sentiment in the center there. Could do like a die cut with a gold embossing on it. Oh, I like that. That turned out way better than I thought. I like the added touch of the gold. And you know what? I'm gonna cheat. Okay, so if you want to put a dot in a specific place now. There, I covered my my oopsie poopsie. Okay, so we're gonna go in and use that like white silver. I think I need a little bit more water. Okay, and then we're gonna put it over. I love how this pink sweater one came out. So pretty. I'm hoping that we're on camera here. I think we're good. Okay. Now I'm gonna get a new brush for this. So I'm gonna go even tinier. Or it needs to be stirred. Come on, little fella. So this is more white even than silver. So it's just going to add shimmer and not so much like a dot. You're just going to see the reflection of it when you pick it up in your hand. So it's almost like snow. It's, of course, if it was on like a navy blue or something, like it would obviously pop out. But on a white, it's just going to add kind of this background shimmer. You'll be like, oh, something's catching the light. So this is more like a subtle kiss of metallic. Okay, I'm gonna put these aside. We're gonna carefully pick this up. Okay, I'm pulling this out. I'm surprised Tuna's not down here with us tonight. Okay, so this is what we've done. So we started out with our green. And then we did our pink. I think the pink is my favorite, for sure. because with that kiss, the kiss of the sweater, something like sweater weather is the best time of year, or something to that effect would look, I think it would be fabulous sentiment for that. So I might have to search my stash. And then the purple we did last, and again, we didn't centralize. We didn't go straight up and down. We put them helter-skelter on the stamping tool. And so we got a different effect. And of course, if you have a stamp set that has like greenery and berries and little sticks and things like that, this is where this tool is going to come in handy, because you can make those wreaths with all those little acorns and the little pine cones and do that. I mean, that's the beauty of it. But again, you can use it with anything, any kind of stamp. It doesn't matter. You could do it with critters and make them all sitting in a wreath, right? So this is just the basics on what you can do, and just with a single stamp set. I mean, we use two inks here, 2 inks there. I use 3 inks there, actually 4 inks. Simple cards. I mean, they kind of make snowflakes. It kind of looks like a snowflake. It's got a bloom in the center, but it looks like kind of like a snowflake. So it's just a way to have fun. The tool does the work for you, right? You don't have to worry about moving that stamp perfectly, whatever, you know. It does all the work, and that's the beauty of it. So now you can just take these, you can die cut them like I did with my original. So I die cut the panel. Woo! I cut the panel and I added a sentiment. In this case, I added some gold embossing, just like we did with the berries. And I just die cut it with a very simple stitched edge die. But I mean, you don't even have to do that. I mean, they're perfect that way. Just put a nice sentiment and call them done. This would be a great thing to do with your kids or your grandkids, because it's so easy. You know, find a really nice bold stamp. And I mean, even the kids, they could just stamp the base and then color them or add detail. Yeah, it would be so fun. So there you go. Just an idea of what you can do with your tools and simple things, right? Because it doesn't have to be complicated. You could make all of your Christmas cards like that, right? It's just one setting of the holly leaf and a second setting of the sweater detail, and they'd be done like really quickly. So, and who doesn't want a pink snowflake holly sweater kissed Christmas card, right? Yeah, so there we go. Thanks so much for joining me. I will most likely I will post my finished cards on the website probably tomorrow. But until then, I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Thanks, Joanne. Thank you, Louise. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, Teresa. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye now.